And we're streaming.
Yeah, we are. We're
What?
streaming hard.
Oh, gross. That sounds like
No.
a problem.
Yeah. A big problem.
A big wet problem.
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
Okay.
It's like a fire hose.
Oh, delightful. Josh.
Yeah. Let's clap it.
Yeah.
Whenever are we streaming on all this
We're streaming on
whatever's?
all the streamers.
Woo!
Oh! Woo, woo, woo.
Yowza! What's going on, guys? It's on fire tonight. Josh and Tressa, and I am super duper stoked. We are here to talk about
And
Man
I'm
in the
Tressa.
High Castle. That's Tressa, and I'm stoked. We're here to talk about Man in the High Castle, Season 1, Episode 1, The New World. If you haven't seen it already, we're going to spoil it. So this is your one and only opportunity to pause, watch it, and get your motherfucking self set, because we are about to do that shit.
You're back! Or whatever.
Tressa, what did you think? Did you like the show?
I liked it a lot. As we have discussed, I have been avoiding the show because it seemed like it would be a real fucking bummer with everything that's going on in our country. So, I love the whole idea of, I don't know, they're hiding the truth. I don't know how that would even happen. I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, I totally feel you. I understand the antipathy of watching something that's going to be a bring down during a time of
Bring down.
unprecedented bring downs in real life. And that's the reason why I haven't watched a number of critically acclaimed things that just didn't seem like they would hit me right. This, however, I'm really glad you took the leap. I think it's going to treat you right. This is it's a world where we see a lot of people fighting against fascism, and that gladdens my heart every time.
Amen. Also,
Yeah.
don't try and get me to watch Handmaid's Tale though, because that is not happening.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. I understand that people love it, but these are dark enough times already.
Yeah. The darkest of times. We are in the bummer fucking timeline. Hello. Hi. It's awesome. We love it.
Except, are we? It's very interesting. Here we are in an alternate
Oh,
timeline.
good point. Could be worse, I guess, is the lesson here.
We love shows with alternate timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a fucking doozy. This one comes from a book written by Philip K. Dick, which if I ever read it, I have no memory of because, as Tressa and I have discussed off mic,
Oh, God
I might
damn
have
it.
brain damage. What's wrong, buddy?
I keep forgetting to turn my mic on. Hi, everybody on Twitch. I'm here, actually. Sorry.
Was that just for Twitch, or were you able
Just for
to...
Twitch. It's fine.
Okay.
Fuck
Anyway,
Twitch. It's fine. I mean, no.
long story short, I may or may not have complete brain damage. I can't remember anything anymore.
Yeah,
Every day is a brand new day. It's like that movie 50 First Dates, or is that what
Groundhog Day. I don't know. I didn't see it.
it's called? Yeah, well, but Groundhog Day, he remembers all of the days that everyone else doesn't.
Exactly. You're everybody in the town. How about that? Boom.
All right, so it starts off with this amazing blue tone black and white credit sequence, all to this haunting version of Edelweiss. We see animations of what the world is like today. The United States lost World War II. Germany and Japan have divided the country unevenly. It's split around the Rocky Mountains, where there's a neutral zone in the middle that stretches into Latin America and who knows what.
Do we know why they even allowed that? That seems like something they would not allow.
Um, we don't have any background on that. We can surmise that, like I agree to take up to here and you agree to take up to there, and we're going to respect each other because we are allies and we have like we fought together in the war and we have a working relationship to this day. So we're not going to fuck that up by like fighting over something small. And since this stuff in the middle is like mountainous and like difficult to deal with, we're just not
Fuck
going to
it.
overthink it.
Yeah, okay.
I think. I mean, I don't know. It's a
No, that
theory.
makes sense. I don't know. Again, with
Um,
Twitch, I miss a whole bunch of the beginning, so.
what is the very first thing? Did you get to see any of the credit sequence? It's not like the end of the world if you didn't.
No, the first thing I saw was him getting up and walking out of the movie theater.
Okay, so just like a tiny tidbit, he's in the movie theater. We see what is basically it's a new day is like the voiceover, and it's this totally patriotic industrial film that's very much in keeping with the tone of patriotic blah 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 in the early 60s, coming out of the World War II, like coming out of a World War II mindset.
Mm.
But we see at the end of it that the American flag now has a swastika where the stars used to be.
Oh, I miss that.
Yeah, so like, and then he gets up, he leaves the theater, he walks through a fucking gorgeous looking 1960s Times Square, right? Like
Yeah.
the production, and like I don't know like how much of it's like that's clearly um historical footage with like computer graphic animation on top of it so that they have different businesses advertising under uh, the rule of Germany. And we see on screen it's New York City, Greater Reich, 1962.
Bruh. This whole, I'm assuming series, but the episode, it is like, oh, well, we lost, so we get to go no further with any sort of art or, not technology, but like the whole thing looked like it was from taking place in the 40s instead of the 60s, which
Oh, I
was
disagree. I disagree.
really?
I think aspects of it mix some 40s looks, some 60s looks that we're familiar with, and then some slightly like retrofuturist ideas. Like, for example, when he gets out of the theater, he gets on the subway and he takes a monorail.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like a
Well,
futurist looking design. It's like,
yeah, and even
you know,
later they mentioned like the airplane, great tech, great German
totally.
tech, and I think the technology, the science that has progressed greatly. However, the Times Square shot, like up until it said 1962, I thought we were in the 40s, and I feel like that, and maybe it was just the tone and the colors
Mhm.
reminded me of something like that, but and it was very, I don't know. I guess if it was, it just looked a lot older than 62 to me as someone who was not there.
I
So,
mean, I guess it's up for us to like we can debate it. I don't
yeah.
really know for sure. You don't really know for sure. It's also plausible. I mean, you could say that you know, the United States loses the war. They get completely wrecked the way in real life Germany got wrecked when they lost the war. And so if you go to Germany today, like there are places all over Berlin where it's like, oh, they just like walled up where half of that building got destroyed and like never fixed any other aspect of it. And then there are other places that are like completely glittering, like the most modern looking thing
Right.
combined with the old designs. So if the United States had lost the war, you could expect for New York City to be like, rather than the sort of boom times coming out of World War II, it would have been like stretching the Great Depression
Mm-hmm.
instead. So like, shit would be run down and old in a different way than it actually was, I think.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think I got caught up in a later part where Frank's boss was like, people don't want art, they don't want jewelry, they want guns. And I think that's like an overarching theme. It's not, we don't have time or resources or energy to concentrate on art right now. We have to deal with everything because we lost the war, sort of thing. Anyway.
I mean, sort of. Like they'll get more into that like later on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but let's just jump in.
Yeah, let's jump in.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So like that character who we will learn is named Joe Blake. He gets off the monorail. He goes into a factory building that he has an address for. He meets with a manager guy. We find out he's 27 years old and he wants his country back. And the manager guy is like, the fuck are you talking about? This is the only country you've ever known. You were sucking your thumb when they dropped the bomb. And so they have like a whole back and forth, like, you could be a spy. Like the resistance is basically shattered. Like, how can I trust you? And they have this whole machismo thing of like, I'm not afraid to die. Well, me neither. And I'm here to do the right thing. And so he gets the job. And the job is to drive a truck to Cannon City, which is like in Colorado, and we will later learn is part of this swath. Is it a swath? It's a swatch. A swatch?
No, I think swath is right.
Swath.
I think so.
It's a swath. It's the fucking neutral zone is what fucking is.
It's a swatch of timekeeping land. And yeah, they give him a bunch of notos and a truck, and they're like, "Your dad's gonna be proud of you. You're
Yeah.
great."
Yeah. They tell him your dad's gonna be proud of you. Here's some speed and a gun. You know how to use that, right? Yeah, just point and shoot.
Man, okay.
So he's told that there are coffee makers in the truck. And right then, a bunch of brown shirts, aka Nazi troops, or like cops, or whatever the fuck they
Yeah.
are
Mm-hmm.
in this dystopian timeline. They arrive on the scene, they raid everything, there's tons of them. Joe shoots a Nazi in the head to save the manager guy
Yeah.
and protect the dude. And then he drives away into the night. And
He's gone.
yeah, we see that
Everyone's
manager and everyone else is like either shot or taken prisoner.
yeah. They're pretty much executing everybody except for the manager.
Right. Cut to an Aikido dojo.
That's right.
Juliana Crane is flipping dudes in gis.
Yep. And she's doing it to all the dudes. All the dudes are like, "Come on, let's go." And she's like, "You're." I'm
Anyway,
yeah, sorry.
she's a good Aikido student,
Uh-huh.
and she's into it. She is white in this Japanese occupied San Francisco.
Okay, thank you, because I had no idea they were in San Francisco. I thought we were still in New York, and then they were talking. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so there was a thing on screen, but if you were taking notes, you could have missed it.
Yeah.
So what happens is she's at the Aikido. She gets like props for being great at Aikido, and then like a young guy who's a student there also like asks her out for tea, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta run, but like maybe tomorrow before class." And he gives a smile, and she's the only non-Asian face in the dojo.
Yeah.
I think it's important to point out, but like she's not treated like garbage in any way. She's treated nicely. She's treated with respect. She's treated. I don't know if it's like an equal, but like she's treated well.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
From there,
so
she goes to like an herbs apothecary.
well, we see. Hold on,
Okay, okay,
hold.
okay.
On her way to the apothecary,
Hmm.
we see her walking through the streets of San Francisco. There's a title on screen that says Pacific States, San Francisco, and she walks by a banner that's going up that's that's being raised to welcome the royal the princess and prince will be visiting from Japan sometime soon. So that's a big deal that's in the works. And then she gets to the herbalist.
I miss so much taking notes. And I'm
It's hard because honestly, it's a really like good
it's
show that's densely packed with information.
mm-hmm.
And I know it's like on the one hand, we have to take notes in order to like do the show justice, but like you
And also
really
to
want to like
remember
sit
anything.
back and like soak it in and like
Yes.
it just looks great. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like every time I like take note of how a shot is composed,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like when the truck drives away in the previous scene in New York at night,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the camera's basically sitting on the ground. And so like in the foreground we see like the wet street, like
Mm-hmm.
right at eye level, and like the truck taking away, like taking off and turning the corner. And it just looks like fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. The light hitting all the like rain on the
Hmm.
ground. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I got a question about this herbalist scene.
Yeah. I'll try to
She
help you if I can.
Yeah, because I'm sure I just missed it. She's getting herbs for her mom, and her half sister Trudy runs in, and Juliana, I think is her name.
Yep.
She's like, "Where have you been? We've been looking for you. What are you doing?" And Trudy just Trudy talks to her. She's like, "Oh, I got a job. I did all the stuff. Stuff is going great. I gotta go." Why did Trudy run in there just to say, "Hey, I gotta go"? What was that? Did I
Uh,
miss something?
no, like basically you covered it. Like we now know that Juliana and Trudy are sisters or half sisters,
Mm-hmm.
that Trudy hasn't been around for some reason and they're excited to see each other. She's excited that she has found something, but she doesn't really say what it is. And then she takes off again. So, yeah, like you got it. You got the important information out of that scene.
Okay.
Cut to there's a game show on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of What's My Line, it's called What's My Game?
Guess my game.
Guess My Game. So it's, basically it's very close to what might have happened, like what happened in real life, what might have happened in this alternate timeline. Things are like pretty close. Like they're not that different. Like, for example, the movie that Joe left in New York City, on the marquee, it said it was a Rock Hudson Doris Day movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the name was? I
I
forget.
think it was called Party Punch, something like
That's
that.
fun.
I didn't write it down, unfortunately.
I want to see a clip of that in that movie.
So Juliana makes tea and serves it to her mom, who doesn't understand why Juliana studies Aikido or does anything that's like in any way Japanese. And Juliana's like, well, the herbs are actually Chinese. And she's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And, they
Yeah.
killed your father. I don't know why you'd want to do anything that they do. And um, you can see that this conversation is not going to go anywhere productive for either person.
And they've
And
had it a billion times before.
right, there's another dude at the house. What's his name? Did you catch it?
No,
Anyway, whoever it is, it's not her dad, but like
no.
maybe her stepfather. Maybe that's Trudy's dad. I'm not sure. And
Oh
um,
yeah.
anyway, Juliana goes off to meet Frank Frink. at a bar, and it's like seems like a really nice place. It's like uh, got a Japanese slash American aesthetic,
Mm,
and Frank is an artist, but modern art is considered degenerate.
right.
Um, so I don't know if that is purely a Japanese thing or purely a German thing and like agreed upon by both or whatever. But anyway, it's like,
Yeah, no, don't do
yeah.
art.
Yeah,
Don't
I
do
mean,
art, nerd.
it's probably because so many like early 20th century modern artists were Jewish, so it was considered a
Mm,
degenerate art.
got it.
We learned that Frank himself, his grandfather, was a Jew, and that's a secret that they both hope no one discovers.
Yeah,
And
they talk about that because they're talking about their future.
yeah, he
They want
wants
to
to
get
raise
married.
kids.
And she's a little bit ambivalent because A, she doesn't want to bring kids into this world because fuck. And also, what if anybody finds out he has Jewish blood? So,
Yeah, way to go.
yeah. Way to go, Grandpa. Their
Right
friend,
then, their good friend enters, played by DJ Qualls himself.
that's his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Ed McCarthy, who, as far as we know, has never had a dog lick peanut butter off of him.
As far as we know.
What was that movie?
I don't know.
It was like a teen comedy from like 20 years ago
Mm-hmm.
where he plays the super nerd. Anyway,
I mean, that was every role he had back then. So,
right, right. I mean, get it while the getting's good.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
Get paid, bro.
yeah,
So he shows up and she's like, you know what? I just got my drink, but I'm going to go.
right. She's got places to go. Um, yeah, so Ed and Frank sit and chat. We see a very old Adolf Hitler on TV, and apparently he's always on TV.
Yeah.
And Ed's got some hot goss about how he's got his left hand in his pocket, and that's because he's secretly got Parkinson's and they don't want us to know. And then they talk about like, what if Himmler or Goebbels or Goering were to take over as his successor and how much worse that would be. They'd fucking level San Francisco with another nuclear attack.
Would it be worse? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's how like dictators maintain authority. They are like, yeah, I mean, I rule with an iron fist, but do you know how much
But
chaos
this
there would
guy,
be if you didn't have me? And
right.
sometimes there's like some truth to that. So you're fucking scared out of your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we are in the street, and Trudy runs into Juliana and gives her a package, and then she dashes off and is immediately followed, chased by Japanese. I don't know if they're soldiers or cops, but like guys in uniforms.
The bad guys.
They shoot her and kill her in the street, and there's like a couple of guys in suits and fedoras also who are standing over her body.
Oh, yeah. They're all checking it out. They kick her over, make sure she's dead.
Juliana is not seen. I'm gonna dance while Tressa is gone. I'm gonna dance while Tressa is gone. I'm gonna dance while Tressa is gone. I'm gonna dance while Tressa is gone.
I mean, you can
I'm
keep
gonna
talking and
dance
pretending
while
like I'm
Tressa
not
is
gone. I mean,
gone.
it's fine. You don't have
Okay,
to wait for
so
me.
yeah, so they examine the body. She's dead, but she didn't have the thing on her that she
They were
stuffed
looking
into
for.
Juliana's hands. And they don't see Juliana, and she brings the package home. She unwraps a film canister, She brings out an old projector, and it's a film of something that surprises and confuses her, and she like rewinds it and plays it again and again and again over and
Wait,
over.
does she rewind it or does she or are there multiple film strips? I thought that she was watching a bunch of them.
No, I think it's just one that she just watched over and over and over.
Got it.
I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's just one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely is.
Okay.
Which becomes like a thing. So she just has the one. She watches it
Oh, yeah,
repeatedly.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what we see are snippets of the Allies winning World War II. And Frank comes in and he's like, "What's that?" And she's like, "It's a newsreel film." He's like, "Yeah, but what do you want? Like, what is this?" And she's like,
Jesus Christ.
"Do you need to take care of something urgently?" I think that you might be on mute. I'm gonna dance for a second while the Twitchsters watch me dance. I can dance forever. I can dance for eternity. I can dance until time itself runs out. Are you okay, Tressa? Ugh.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Fucking dogs, am I right?
Am I right? Are you good?
Probably not. But go ahead.
Um, so Frank comes in and he's like, "What's that?" And she's like, "It's a newsreel film." And
He's like, yeah, but where'd you get it? What is it?
yeah, she's like, "It shows us winning the war." And he's like, "We didn't win the war."
Yeah, what is that, you stupid idiot?
And she's like, "That's what they told us." And he's like, "Wait a second, I know what this is. This is the man in the high castle. He makes anti-fascist films." And she's like, "But it's real." And he's like, "It can't be."
It looks like it, but it can't.
Right. And he's like, "Possessing them is treason."
That's right.
And she's like, "Trudy gave this to me and she's dead. They shot her on the street."
And he's like, okay, well, you know what? You're going to take it and you're going to go to the cops and you're going to say you don't know shit, okay?
Yeah,
She's
but no,
like,
because the police are the ones who fucking killed her.
yeah, but you just have to play stupid. Otherwise, you will be killed.
Yeah, he's basically running down the list of things. He's like, disavow her, like she's your half sister. You barely knew her.
Yeah.
And then we cut to our man, Joe Blake, trucking west. We hear little snippets of news on the radio. There are Semitic rebels in North Africa, or Semite rebels. I forget how it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he takes some Nazi speed to keep himself awake, and a cop cruises by, giving him a little scare, but he's fine. Cut to Juliana and Frank. Trudy's bag had a bus ticket in it.
What?
Yeah, to Cannon City, Colorado. And it says in handwriting on the back, Sunrise Diner, 12:05.
Yeah, he's like, okay, that's cool or whatever, but I'll take you to the cops now. Let's go to the cops. And she's
like, "I'll
"Oh,
go on my own." And
I'm an adult. You don't need to hold my hand.
right, you have to go to work now, Frank, anyway.
Bye.
And so he's like, "All right, I'll see you tonight." And then he leaves, and we immediately see her pack. She takes off her heart charm necklace that he made. For her.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes the film, and she also takes a second canister of film that's like labeled Popeye, and she switches the two.
Right.
She switches the contents of the two. So she has the real one, and she has a fucking decoy one. Smart.
So smart.
Right?
So awesome. So she's got a bus to catch now.
Yeah, she's off in the street. She runs into her young suitor friend from the dojo. And he's like, "Oh, didn't you say we were going to go out for tea?" And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I have an appointment."
She's like, actually, what I said was I have a boyfriend. Thank you.
She said that also. She said that also.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, in the
She's,
first scene, she's like, I have to meet my boyfriend, but maybe tomorrow
he's like,
before.
cool. I don't give a shit about your boyfriend. Let's go. So she's like, all right, I'm so sorry. I cannot take tea with you right now. I gotta go. I got a train to catch.
Yeah. So, well, no, she doesn't say that. She just
No,
says
she
an
doesn't.
appointment.
I mean, she was thinking it though, Josh. No.
Um, yeah. So then we cut to a scene where we see the Japanese trade minister, who we will later learn is named Tagomi, is meeting with German ambassadors to discuss the impending visit of the crown prince and princess.
At the Nazi embassy.
Right. And
Wow.
tensions are clearly like they hang in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, these two are the Germans and the Japanese are still allies, but it's clear that as far as the Germans' perspective, like, we'll deal with them for as long as we have to.
Mm-hmm.
And the Japanese clearly feel that tension as well and are, I guess, not nearly as powerful a military might. So there's that worry. We cut to Joe. His truck catches a flat.
No.
Yeah, he pulls over, and that's that scene. And then we cut to Rikers Island, where the manager guy from that gave the truck to Joe is just hanging, dangling from the ceiling by his wrists. And the head Nazi in charge here, the Obergruppenführer, who we will learn is John Smith, interrogates the manager dude was the head of East New York's resistance.
Yeah. And they are going to torture him until he gives them the information that they want.
And he's not giving up anything. And also, they already know everything.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all futile and on his part. It's just, you know what? You don't really need to say anything. We're still going to beat the shit out of you forever until you're dead. Sorry, bro.
It sucks. So then we cut back to Joe on the side of the road. A cop car stops. It's like the guy's got a German armband, not a swastika armband, just as all police in that timeline do. And the guy is like super fucking nice. He gives Joe
Such
a
a
hand.
sweetheart.
Like immediately, he's like, "Hey, I've got like a kit in my car. I'll help you fix it up." They fix the flat together. The cop is like, "My wife packed an extra egg salad sandwich."
There's
And
not going to be any open diners. Just take the sandwich, buddy.
Yeah, totally. And he's like, "I just got to check your transit papers." And Joe has like momentary concern, but like plays it cool. Shows him the transit papers, and they're just chit-chatting. It's like, yeah, this is my first time ever leaving New York City. It's the first time seeing the country at all.
Your dad must be so proud.
Right. And like the cop guy has an old tattoo from when he was in the army. He's like, I don't even remember what we were fighting for. It's so long ago now. And yeah,
It's so wild.
your father must be proud. He's like, yeah, well, I took this job to make my father proud, so I hope so. And then what looks like snowfall.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the real point of the scene.
Yeah. What? Yeah,
So-
because this is. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what looks like snow falling on the scene, it's not snow at all, it's ash. And Joe's like, wait, what is this? What's going on? He's like, oh, that's ashes. It must be Tuesday. They burn the cripples and the terminally ill.
Basically,
Yeah.
all the burdens of the state.
Yeah, it drags on society. The cop just says that, as cheerful as if you were telling you the time of day.
It's fine. I mean,
It's
that's what
just
we do.
it's just a fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cut to Juliana goes to the bus station. It's in San Francisco and it's I think Taikoku station.
Oh, I missed that.
And she's about to be interrogated by a cop, but then right then Trudy's friend runs into her, this guy, and he's like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, there you are." And he tries to take the film, and Juliana is like, "No fucking way."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you get this? I gave this to Trudy. And she's like, well, actually, Trudy's dead. And he seems way more upset about it than she ever did.
A bit. That's true. Well, I mean, she's got resolve, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, she's doing hard stuff. Like,
Well, for sure. But she didn't know. It was weird because her sister was murdered right in front of her. And then she was just like, whoa, that sucks. I'm going to go home. And then she watches these movies. But even like before she watches these movies, not a tear was shed. It was just like, it happens. It was weird.
I mean, I believe it I interpreted more internal struggle than you seem to have, but it's true. She didn't have a wailing scene.
No, you don't. I mean, it just, it's fine. It just seemed very flat to me.
Well, maybe.
Maybe. I
Um,
mean, it was only her half sister, so fuck her.
wow.
Just kidding.
Gruesome.
Just
So,
kidding, I said.
so anyway, the call to action, right? Like the hero is called to action and fucking
Yeah.
she accepts the charge. Like our heroes, they don't like being called to action. They don't want to do it. There are many reasons not to do it,
Yeah.
but do what they must.
Absolutely.
So she's like, well, anyway, horseshit, you're not going, I'm going.
Yeah, so she
I'll
does.
just tell whoever's there that I'm Trudy. And so what the fuck do I do when I get there? And he's like, when you get there, you wait. And if they think that it's safe, they'll come to you. And she boards the bus and she looks nervous like way, no, more nervous boarding this bus than she did like passing guys with machine guns.
Fully.
So like on this bus, there are black people. We see white people with Down syndrome. And she sits down and we don't know what the future is going to hold for her. Nor does she. Cut to the Japanese trade minister, Tagomi, is waiting at the airport to meet this German guy who introduces himself with one name, but then when they get in the car, we learn he has a different name. He's been traveling under a false identity. He's a German dude who was pretending to be Swiss and a businessman, and they discuss in the backseat of this car that both their governments would execute them if they knew what they were planning.
Okay, I didn't catch any of that.
It was hard because like the introduction of like of his assumed identity happens quickly,
Yeah.
and then when he displays a different ID, you could have easily been like, "Oh, I didn't notice that it was a different name."
Yeah, it was absolutely what I did. I was like, I just assumed
Right.
that I heard wrong or something.
But the point is, the two of them are conspiring, and we learn from this guy that Hitler is in poor health, and Himmler and Goebbels both want power, and
If
Tagami said that he'd like checked in with I Ching, which favored their meeting. And the German guy's like, so that's good, right? And Tagami says, fate is fluid. Destiny is in the hands of men. Right?
damn.
Yeah, we make our own destiny.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is that's potent to me. Boom, we cut to the factory floor in San Francisco. Frank and Ed are working together. And once again, Ed has got all the hot goss about like all the top Nazis. And Frank goes over to talk to the foreman about his designs. And the foreman is like, look, your designs are great, but that's not what we make and sell here. Like, the market is for old fashioned looking Colt revolvers. So if you want to make jewelry or whatever other stuff you want to make, like, there's no market for it.
I didn't understand that. I
So
don't.
that, yeah. So like basically they make um,
Are they
either,
real
either,
guns that
either
they're
real
making?
or replicas or something, but whatever it is, it's
Uh,
like, you know, in America, I think
uh,
that there was a fascination after the war with lots of Japanese stuff.
mm-hmm.
And so the Japanese now are fascinated by American culture in that same reciprocal way.
Got it.
And but again, for I think for a lot of Americans, there was a nostalgic view of what it means, like what Japanese culture is. It's like rather than viewing it as like a living thing,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
oh, this quaint historical thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so similarly, the greater Japanese view is of a quaint historical thing that existed before, you know,
They took over.
before they took over and brought culture and society and modern times.
All right, that makes more sense.
And then we cut to Juliana's bus as it approaches the neutral zone. Um, a middle-aged white woman sits down next to her, and they get into it a little bit about the neutral zone itself. Like she's never been there, though this older lady has before. She says it's like a Western that, like, one of those Westerns that Herr Hitler watches. It's lawless except for the marshal who hunts down enemies of the Reich, strings them up, and burns them alive.
What? How? Okay, if it's the neutral zone, how does he get away with that?
Well, okay, so like in the neutral zone,
Yeah.
like you're sort of outside of the reach. I mean, think about the Old West, right? Like you had unincorporated territory, but you still had the law. So like a sheriff, like um sheriffs and judges
Mm-hmm.
had like giant territories, and like judges would literally like, they call a circuit court a
Mm-hmm.
circuit because they literally rode a horse like around like the circuit over the course of like months or weeks or however long it took to adjudicate cases here, go to the next town that's part of the circuit. And it took forever. And
Yeah.
it was literally about like the time spent traveling. So the neutral zone is kind of like this fucking Wild West where like there's still the law as we see from the Reich or from the Japanese, but like the Japanese don't seem to be nearly as strong, and they have like a third of the map,
Right.
or less. They have the Pacific states, while Germany has all the way from the East Coast to the Rockies.
Yeah.
And so,
Do
you know,
we ever? No spoilers, but do we ever see any other cities or anywhere else in the neutral zone?
maybe I don't remember.
Okay.
Um,
because Cannon
you know,
City is looking sad.
yeah, Cannon City is like a bit of a ghost town.
Hmm.
Like there are people. So yeah, so like it's a more diverse population. Um, where like the guy operating the diner is black, and there's like uh there could be people of different religions, who knows.
Okay, okay, Josh, you're making it sound like I said it's looking rough because it's diverse. That is not what I meant. What I meant was outside the diner, they still had World War II posters up, and it's 1962. So those posters have been up there for 40 something, 20, 40. They've been up there for a while.
Right, right. Well, I mean, it's like a rundown town. Like if you've ever
That's what I
been.
meant, not because it's diverse, you jerk.
So anyway, we cut to Joe Blake, who has made it to the Rockies. He calls someone from a payphone, but there's no answer. And then we see him investigate the contents of the truck.
It really was coffee makers.
Yeah, inside, but then he looks underneath and unscrews a secret compartment and finds a film canister wrapped up in a newspaper. Yeah. So that's interesting. There's a checkpoint that he has to go to, like to get into the neutral zone. And he hands them his transit papers, and they look at him, but they don't inspect the truck, and he just keeps on driving. Boom, cut to Frank gets home. He sees the heart necklace, but no jewels.
What?
That's what he calls Juliana.
Right.
Jules, meanwhile, wakes up on the bus, and that fucking white bitch stole her bag.
What the fuck, bitch?
Yeah, she fucking took off. Like, we see the lady look back, but
because she's banging on the window.
The bus is about to leave. Juliana sits back down, and the lady has fucking stolen her purse, but she got the decoy film, not the real one.
You fucking idiot.
Fucking sucker. So we don't know if like she was there looking for a film canister, like, if that was,
never
like,
gets
intrigue. Well, I don't know. Like,
I'm just
maybe she's just a fucking thief.
Right. I mean, yeah, because
We cut over to Rikers. Obergruppenführer John Smith is extremely unhappy to see that the manager guy was left unattended. He's unconscious, but the guy torturing him isn't still torturing him.
what the fuck, dude? Why aren't you killing this guy? I leave for 5 seconds and you can't keep killing this guy? What the fuck is your problem?
The orders were clear. You are to torture him until he gives you the answers. Has he given you the answers? No, but he's not even capable of waking up. Well, you just keep doing your job. And that's that. And we learn that the cruelty, because the cruelty is the point, and it's a ruse. So
his little buddy is
John
so
Smith,
happy.
Yeah, so his assistant guy is like, oh my God. So let me get this straight. You're gonna like beat the shit out of this guy until he's dead and leave him in the street so that the resistance will see his broken body, believe that he never gave up the info, and further, that we don't know that they
The whole plan.
Right, the plan about Cannon City and all the rest.
But
we already know all that shit.
all those good guys are suckers.
Right, basically. We see Juliana arrive at Cannon City. She sees the diner. We cut back to San Francisco. Inspector Keto, that's the guy, was one of the guys in the suit and fedora that like shot Trudy in the street, is now inside Frank's apartment interrogating him. Frank's in a bathrobe.
Disgusting.
Like, did you know that Julia, your girlfriend whom you live with in sin, did you know that her sister Trudy was doing treasonous activity? No.
Her what? I don't even know she has a sister. Yeah. Like what? No.
Yeah. I don't know her. And so we see that Juliana is trying to call him
At
from
the
the
same
diner.
time.
He doesn't pick up the phone, and the cop, Inspector Keto, is like, "Don't you want to answer that?" He's like, yeah. And
Are
then
you going to
he
let me?
hesitates for long enough to miss the call.
I'm answering it right
Basically, this guy is kind of a
now.
master of not
Whoops.
letting on more than you need to. So we see
Artist, am I
Juliana
right?
settle into the diner. She does some origami. I think that
No,
might have
no,
been a
no.
unicorn.
The guy at the table that she was watching did the origami. She didn't.
Oh, she didn't do that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Someone does
Someone
origami,
does origami.
not her. And then she's like, "Oh fuck!" And she tells the black diner cook slash owner her wallet was stolen and she can't pay for lunch. And he's like, "You said what now?"
Hey, why did you order food, you dumb
Yeah, yeah.
bitch?
What the fuck are you talking about? Well, that doesn't solve the problem that you have to pay for it. And right then, worlds collide. Here's the meet cute of the century. Joe Blake enters the scene and pays for lunch, and she leaves, and he's like, "You're welcome, by the way." And he follows her and has two bottles of orange soda. Orange soda invented by the Nazis.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. Every time you drink an orange Fanta, delicious. But that's Nazi sugar syrup. So anyway, this is like so this amazing meet cute. Like they're like the sun is shining, it's morning in the Rockies, and it's fucking gorgeous as we see these two like chit-chatting about nothing. He she's like, "Are you here to meet someone named Trudy?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah, I don't know what you're
And
talking about.
he's like, "What the fuck? Why do you just want to like pay for my lunch? That's nice." And we see Frank is taken in back in San Francisco. And we also see Trudy's friend that was at the train station. He's taken in.
Wait,
And
I got a question. I got a question. I got a question.
yeah,
You know what? We'll finish the episode, then I'll ask. Okay.
okay. And then we see Tagomi. He's consulting what I think is the I Ching, and he looks disturbed.
Uh huh. Shocked.
And then,
Stunned.
yeah, and then handsome, dashing Joe Blake is like, "Oh, hey, pardon me for a second."
I guess.
Excuses himself from his conversation with Juliana, goes to a payphone, makes a call. Hello. On the other end of the line, it's Obergruppenführer John Smith, who
Why is he
says,
calling him?
who's very happy to hear from him.
Mm-hmm.
"I will tell your father, he'll be proud. Heil Hitler."
And
End
then
of
he's like,
episode.
Heil Hitler. Hey, what? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Into it.
What's going on here?
Oh! Okay. Yeah, I think that if it hadn't ended that way, I would be interested, but not as interested.
Right.
Great ending.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on?
Rough. Okay, not related to anything, any double, whatever. Was Joe supposed to meet Trudy?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because she was obviously there to meet somebody,
Right.
and he's in the neutral.
Right. They both have missions to go to the same place in the neutral zone. Are they the same mission or not? Also, he found a hidden canister of film.
Right.
What's up with that?
He wasn't even supposed to know it was there.
Yeah. Or was he? Was the plan for him to get suspicious?
It depends on whose plan you're
Right.
talking
Who's pulling the
about.
strings? I don't know.
Who is the puppet and who is the puppet master?
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this.
Oh my
episode.
God. What a wild ride. We will see you guys next time. Until then, bye.
Tune in soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.